Hi there, I'm Kitty Felde, and I covered Congress and Capitol Hill for Southern California Public Radio for almost a decade. And these days, I'm still writing about Congress, sort of. I write mystery stories for kids set on Capitol Hill. They're about the 10-year-old daughter of a congressman from California who solves mysteries in the U.S. Capitol, like the mystery of the demon cat or what was that mysterious bird that pooped on the president's head during the State of the Union address? Another case for Fina Mendoza. But the books are more than just kids' mysteries. They're also a way to introduce civics, basic civics principles to kids. And I think we could probably all agree after this past year, it's something that kids need to learn at a very early age. And so that's the purpose of writing the books. And I also wrote it for kids in California and on the West Coast and places that are really too far for them to come to Washington on that 8th grade visit. I remember just being wowed by how many kids in matching t-shirts I would run into in the Capitol Visitor Center every single day of the week. And so few of them were from California or Oregon or Arizona or any place in the West, because it's just too far for those kids to come. And you can kind of see how that works too, because when I do classroom visits, author visits, I always ask the kids at the very beginning to find Washington, D.C. on a big map. And you can imagine what they point to, that little state up in the corner, not the one on the East Coast. So it's a real need that's there. Oh, and one other thing that I do when I go to do a class visit, we always end the same way too, which is I ask the kids to think about, how do bills become law? Who has these ideas? And, I open it up to say, you've got ideas, don't you? And so I ask them to come up with one issue that they really care a lot about. And if they have a solution, that's even better. And I ask them to write a letter or a postcard to their member of Congress about that issue. I also call the office to make sure they'll get a response to those letters. But the kids have been just amazing at the kinds of topics they've covered, like Syrian refugees, like solving homelessness. One kid had an ingenious idea about how to make crossing streets safer. He had this very elaborate system for crosswalk signals that he thought that Congress should do something about. And of course, there's always the goofballs. One wrote to Senator Feinstein suggesting that kids work so very hard in school that they deserve 3-day weekends, and would she please do something about it? And I heard back from her staffer who said, yeah, I completely agree with that. Well, the books have been turned into an episodic podcast called the Fina Mendoza Mysteries, and there's curriculum that goes with it. Again, it's a civics lesson disguised as a mystery series. And of late, the concern has been to address issues that are happening right now on Capitol Hill. And so, we did an episode about kids going to school during the coronavirus remotely. We did an election episode. We did one even on the insurrection. I talked to a bunch of teachers who teach on the Hill and asked them what their kids were talking about after January 6th. And that grew into a larger lesson about the importance of losing in a democracy. And that became the topic of one of the episodes. We even got a real-life congressman, Mark Takano, to join us in one episode where he took questions that I wrote for my fictitious characters, but he answered them in his own words. Let's just take a look.
Hello.
Thank you, Congressman Takano, for agreeing to help us with our genius project.
Well, it's my pleasure, especially when geniuses are involved.
We all have questions for you. Starting with, why did you want to let 16 and 17-year-olds vote?
Well, I thought long and hard about this, and I think that 16 and 17-year-olds would make the political system more responsive to younger people's needs.
What about kids younger than 16? Would you vote for a bill to let kids like us vote?
Well, the answer is no, and I'll tell you why.
What about letting kids run for office? I would make a very good member of Congress. Why do I have to wait until I'm 25? That's like forever.
Well, it seems like it's forever. But Trust me, it's not forever.
I am extremely honored to be invited to join a terrific panel to talk about dismantling divisions and how kids' books can play a role in that at the upcoming Literary Hill Bookfest. It's a festival that I've long respected living in Washington, D.C., and I am incredibly excited to be there. And I hope to see you there too.